Are you looking for a gift for your paranormal loving friend or family member?
Then check out our online store at our webpage at SCPRAI.org.
We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and tote bags.
A portion of the proceeds go to funding our team and updating equipment. This is the South Carolina Paranormal Research and Investigations Podcast with your hosts, Paul
and Carolyn. We are a ghost hunting group that investigates the Palmetto State.
Introducing to the stage, the incomparable, the sexy, the sassy Jenny!
Yeah, woo. I'm trying to say hey, but you got me laughing.
First, we forgot to introduce ourselves anyway, so...
Yeah, well, they already get that in the intro anyway, but in case they didn't, my name's Paul.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we have Jenny with us tonight.
Hello.
She's our newly elected board member.
Yay! Which we told about in the last one.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Now we're here to learn all about Jenny.
Yeah,
what got her into it.
I think I'll title this the Jenny-sode.
Oh no.
Why not? Yeah, you forget. This is all on my computer. I get to do what I want.
Okay, Jenny. Now to the nitty-gritty.
We're going to ask you a series of questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's going to be random ass questions. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite piece of ghost hunting equipment?
Just a recorder.
That's my favorite. Good one.
Good one.
Let's see. What's your favorite place you've ever investigated?
A friend's house a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
They had a poltergeist, so it was interesting.
Like I said, random questions. What's your favorite Backstreet Boy?
I don't know none of them.
What? What?
I knew Carolyn was going to say that if you said that.
What?
She's a huge Backstreet Boy fan.
I like their songs, but I don't know them.
Mm.
I'm a BSP girl.
I used to love the Spice Girls. What's your favorite Spice Girl?
The blonde.
She don't know.
She said the blonde. There's always a blonde in every group, so that's a good answer.
That's a safe answer.
It's a safe answer. There's at least one blonde. Just like in Backstreet Boys, there's at least one blonde. You could have said that.
Then I would have said, Mine's Kevin, by the way, so just so everyone getting it out there. Mine's Kevin all the way.
So, you've been on the team for, 6 months now? Maybe a little more?
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take, yeah. And you went to your first investigation was at the Ashburn Crime and Punishment Museum.
Yes.
How'd you think about that place?
It was sad.
It was sad?
Yeah, I had fun with y'all, but it was sad for the man that was there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know you're talking about the one who he tried to kidnap his son or get to his son or something. He killed I remember now. He killed his wife and her mother to get custody of his son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, that was a sad one because I know me and you got kind of emotional up there. We were just asking questions.
Now, to clarify, when I say investigate, I've went to people's houses, but never with a team like this. So it's always just been going in and seeing what's there. So never really collecting evidence.
Yeah, just seeing if you could experience something.
Yeah, and.
Mm-hmm. And so I know you had like what was your first paranormal experience? Because I know you have like a long story, and we'll get into that in a few minutes, but what was your first paranormal experience?
The one that made you say, oh my God, something else is out there.
Oh gosh. Probably when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Wow, that far
But
back, huh?
but I didn't realize that everybody couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
That's interesting. So, where were you when that happened?
Everywhere. It just anywhere. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's just I thought everybody saw what I saw, so it was
Mm-hmm.
no big deal. I guess I was probably 11 or 12 when I started realizing that they didn't see it or hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So,
Jenny.
Yes.
I feel like we have to pry stuff out you. You're being shy and evasive. This ain't like you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is not the same girl that went up to the Tennessee race retrievers and said, "I paid $150 to now I gotta look at you." You know, that's Angie's favorite story to tell about you, by the way.
It is. It really is. She said right then and there, she knew she liked you. How was that experience, anyways, in your opinion?
It was good. I liked meeting people, but I mean, as far as the investigation, I think it was more of a meet and greet than for collecting evidence, you know.
Yeah, like I don't even know who those people are. I mean, I no, I like a lot of paranormal shows, but I couldn't tell you any of their names. I don't watch a whole lot of paranormal shows, and I couldn't name one of those people. But you said you had fun, and they kind of picked on you. Because didn't you get scared or something? Didn't something scare you, and they just said it was like, oh, it's those scrappies.
It was what?
Didn't something scare you? Angie said something scared you, and you kind of like screamed.
Yeah.
I guess.
On one part, as I was walking through a room, they had a wedding dress set up like 3 steps above me, and I kind of caught that white wedding dress out of my corner of my eye, and I took off.
So I know didn't one of them all night tell you like, oh God, there's one of those scrappies.
No.
Oh, I thought that's what Angie said.
Oh,
Or maybe they only said that to Angie. Oh God, it's Angie. No shade.
Interesting.
So how did you react when we messaged you and said, "Hey,
We need a board member. What do you think about joining? What was your first reaction?
my first reaction was, y'all crazy. But I mean, I was glad that you asked me, but I also had worry about causing discord within the team.
Mm.
But the thing about that is we picked you, not by, we like you or anything like that. It was what you could bring to the team and how you are with people, how you are with
Communication,
how you are with clients and things like that, and you were just a really good fix. And I feel as though you're a good leader, and you're outgoing, and you just.
And I think you're fair. You would be fair too if something like came up to where, hey, we had to discipline a member or something. Like if someone needed to be removed from the team, you would be that level-headed voice.
Oh
yeah. Mm-hmm. But I know that was one of your worries, but Carolyn was only in the team for a few months too, and she was elected to the board also. How long were you?
When did you guys start the board?
not last December, but the December before that, there was discussion, and I think we announced it in January.
Yeah, because I only started in what? March, April,
Yeah.
May, something like that.
Yeah, and you were on the board, and by December, I believe we had asked you, because first we made you the team trip advisor or a coordinator.
Yep.
Because no one really had time, and I don't like calling people. I don't. I'll do it, but I don't. I've gotten better at it now. Hence, I made a call tonight for the team, but I don't like doing that kind of stuff. So I was just like, here, who would be good at this? And so I think it was me and Angie were kind of scoping that out, and they were like, okay, Carolyn might be a good fit for that. And Carolyn's like, hell yeah, I'll do it.
And look at me, the trips that I have done.
Yep. And then we were like, well, and then we really started talking about the board. So I was like, well, if we've started the board, might as well put her on it so she can have a voice. Which everybody on our team has a voice. That's what I always tell everybody. If you have something that you want to address or an idea, to always email us, because to me, I have an open door policy. And you can text or email me anytime, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Y'all know I'm constantly glued to my phone anyway, so.
Yes, you are.
You know, if your phone dings, it's probably me.
Like 99.9% of the time.
Yeah,
If it ain't you, it's my daughter-in-law. They're about the only two that contact me.
Well, is she the one about to have the baby?
Yeah, she's the one about to have the baby.
Okay. So that's one reason why are we gonna record another episode? Try to record another episode before that baby comes.
That baby can come any day, so we'll have to wing it.
Let's try Monday and try to get another episode out.
We shall see.
Okay. But anyway, so you mentioned, Jenny, that you've had experiences your whole life. Do you? So you said that it was about 5 you started noticing you were having experiences.
Yeah.
Now, was it like all at once, or was it like something that slowly like crept up?
Well, to me, that's just the earliest I remember, but it was not out of the ordinary. So apparently, it had already been there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the earliest as I remember. So it wasn't unusual for me. So.
And you're from South Carolina, correct?
Yeah, but most of my ancestors are from Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah.
Do you know any of your?
Got to look at the Irish on.
Lord. I got Irish in me too, but I don't know anything about really my ancestry on that side. I know a little bit from my mother's side, but I don't know too much on my father's, a little bit. But that's because my mother did the genealogy for her family. Do you know if anybody else in your family kind of has the gift that you have? And what would you call that gift exactly? Do you have a word for that gift?
Well, it depends. Sometimes I say, okay, it's a gift. Sometimes it's a curse. It just depends, because it depends on who's there. Sometimes I'll see it, sometimes I hear it, sometimes I feel it. It's not always the same.
Mm.
So you got a spectrum of.
Yeah, it just depends on what they want to show.
Gotcha. Okay.
And my granny did. I know she did, but I was pretty young when she died.
I was about to say, did she kind of guide you and teach you? But I guess she died before she could actually really do that. So, so you're married to Rob, who's also one of our team members.
Bless him. Bless his heart.
You say allegedly?
I said bless him.
What'd you say? One more time?
Bless his heart.
You know the southern thing, like bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
I always say that means you're an idiot. I have arguments about that.
Well, we try to keep the language somewhat clean on this podcast, but we do say the occasional bad word here and there, but I posted something the other day, and it was a meme of a girl holding a book, and it said how to tell people nicely to go fuck themselves. And somebody commented underneath it. She goes, "Well, in the South, they just say bless your heart."
Yep.
And in the North, we just tell you like it is.
Yep.
So, how long have you and Rob been married?
Be 14 years this August.
14.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
This August be 14 years.
Now, you
haven't-
guys do a lot of
Or
investigations
15
together.
years. Wait a minute. Oh, you better cut that.
I'll cut that. Okay, I'll ask the question
I don't
again.
know. Let me look at the damn marriage license. Shit.
All you have to say is been too damn long. It's been too damn long.
Married 15 years this August. Get our anniversary mixed up with my dog's birthday.
I think I got to keep all that.
Look, I've been married 3 times, so, you know, it all just runs together now.
Third
Well-
time's charm.
So, do you want me to cut all that for real?
And I don't care.
Okay. I'll
I
keep
ain't
it
said
in.
nothing I won't say to him.
Huh?
I ain't said nothing he probably ain't already heard.
What year is this? I don't freaking know.
Yeah, I
It's
couldn't.
one of them.
I was filling out paperwork at the doctor's office the other day, and I wanted to write 2018 so many times. It wasn't even funny. But you and Robin been married for 15 years, and y'all live in the upstate of South Carolina, in that area up there. And Rob's also on the teams, and y'all do a lot of your cases together. And so I know he's on the road a lot. That's one way that y'all spend a lot of your time together too when he comes home, isn't it?
Yeah. Our
Now,
kid
was
last
he into it too? And then you guys kind of
No,
found
he
out,
was
or
a- he was
he
a
got in
one-
it after you?
He was 100% skeptic. I mean, just no. But he was kind of forced into believing a little bit, because when things got bad, there was no question that he knew there was something there.
Gotcha.
So, do you want to tell that story about what happened and how you got through all that, and then kind of join the team if you want to?
Well, some of it I can. It's just
If you don't, it's okay too. You know, we don't want to put you on the spot or put pressure on you.
no, I don't mind that part. I just I know that I had an attachment from a very young age. And I thought it was my friend, you know, my protector for many, many years. So, but every time things would go good, it would just show its little ugly head. And I was like Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, seriously, like Jekyll and Hyde. So, it was eventually gonna destroy everything, but then finally we were able to find some help and got rid of the attachment. It still sneaks around sometimes, but it can't attach anymore.
Gotcha.
So it was, yeah, it has been an experience. That's why I feel I feel sorry for people, especially when I know they have an attachment. But then I also have to remember, after one of our investigations, that it's fine to have that empathy for somebody, but I can't put myself in the position of taking on their emotions and
Right,
getting
right.
too close. So it's kind of a fine line there.
So it's like something that they have to do the work.
Yeah, they have to do it. It's just like if I feel too much empathy for somebody, I open my crap back up and I wreak hell for a few days. So
So
And Rob's like, no way.
So when you had the attachment going on, and if you don't really want to get into that this question either, but did it wreak havoc on your family life?
Oh yeah, my mental life, my physical health, everything. I mean, it was slowly but surely going to just take me out. Um, but luckily I was able to get rid of it. And I mean, I know how it happened. Now I do.
Right.
I don't want to get into that, but so it's kind of personal, but
That's fine.
it's it sucks. But the thing about it, the attachment is, I mean, I believe it or not, even though it had done all this to me, it took me a while, weeks. I had to mourn like I lost somebody because it had been there so long, and I had to mourn it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds crazy, but
Well, it's kind of, you know what it kind of reminds me of? It's like the abusive boyfriend. Um, you can't wait to get rid of them, but at the same time, you know how people get that Stockholm syndrome. They're like, but when am I without this person? Is that kind of like what you experienced?
kind of, yeah. It was like I lost my best friend, even though your best friend was the freaking devil.
Mhm. Wow, that's crazy. So how long did it take you to shake this thing off once you decided, hey, this thing's got to go?
Immediately.
Immediately? Really?
Once I found the right thing to do, because the reason I couldn't get rid of it before wasn't that a lot of it was Rob didn't believe me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't believe me, and then he started seeing certain things that he couldn't explain. And one night I was physically attacked here at my house,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw, the scratches like just forming, coming up. And he's like, how did that happen? You didn't, I'm standing right here. And he finally believed me, and he started helping me look to find help. Because I mean, it was to the point to where I just didn't even want to exist anymore. I was done.
Mm-hmm.
And once he finally helped, and I mean, it took a couple of days, to do what I had to do, but it was an immediate. I was in my own head, if that makes sense. I was the only one in my head,
Gotcha.
and it was lonely at first.
You'll
Well,
have,
after having that for so long, then it's kind of like, what do I do?
you
Yeah,
don't have that extra voice and, whispering stuff in your ear.
yeah, and see, after we got rid of it, I thought it was all gone, everything. So I was sitting here, and I remember telling Rob, I said, I don't hear anything. I was shocked because I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anybody. And I was really excited. I thought, oh my God, it's finally, it just all gone. But then eventually it started coming, I called it him. I just said him. But it wasn't him, but I could hear, the other people, and it started all coming back. So that's when I talked to a lady, and she told me that maybe I should start trying to get into investigating, because apparently it's not ever going to go away.
Right.
If I can use it to help other people, then that would benefit. Because I mean, if it's not going to help anybody, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I just don't want it. I'd
Right.
rather,
Right.
not even have it. But if it's going to be there, at least use it for something.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well help people with it.
That's pretty interesting.
But at the same time, do you find that you can't help people who don't want to be helped?
Oh, exactly. And then I say there's not real vampires. They're not going to suck your blood. But
Mm-hmm.
I call energy vampires. I mean that some people, it's not that they don't want help, it's that they feed on this. And they kind of like having it around.
I could
And
see
then,
that.
yeah, and then when you go and you get zapped, I mean, you automatically know then that that person's a vampire.
So you just know right away that this person doesn't want help.
Most times I get more. I've learned to trust my feelings a lot more than I trust what people say.
Abso-freaking-lutely. I am 100% on that one.
Yeah. I used to second guess myself. I used to say, no, that's, but finally I just said, well, it may not make sense to anybody, but if that's what I feel, then your feelings are yours.
Yep.
Nobody can tell you how to feel.
That's just like when I said, there's just something about that person it's just not right.
And when you trust that, then it finally starts coming to you.
Yep.
Now, I know you said something about your grandmother. You believe your grandmother has the same gift / curse, if you want to call it that you had. Do you think any of your kids might have the same thing, or do you think it may have skipped their generation?
Sometimes I think they do, especially my daughter. But I don't know how much right now is actually that versus her imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother, he's kind of weird though. He does think he knows things, but I don't know. He's a weird character.
Is he weirder than me?
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, you are not weird.
Oh, please.
You're not weird.
I have a meme to send you later on that I can't really describe on air, but I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to totally be like, yep, that's you.
Jenny, are you excited about state bands?
Yeah, I'm scared somewhat, but I'm excited. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna walk into.
Well, it was a sanatorium, so
Yeah. So
we're gonna walk into a lot.
yeah. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm excited to go.
Carolyn,
Me
are
too.
you
What?
on that Facebook group, the abandoned places in South Carolina?
Yep, I see you post on there sometimes.
Did you see that chick that posted that it's not the Babcock building on Bull Street, but it's the building next to it?
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I want to go in there too. But somebody said they're starting to tear that one down.
Jenny, where are some places that you have been? Have you and Rob ever investigated, like maybe graveyards or abandoned buildings or anything like that?
No, now I used to go in a graveyard all the time when I was little, just so I could get peace and quiet. I would just there was a
Okay.
graveyard. There was a graveyard in my neighborhood, so that's where I went and did my homework and stuff because it was quiet.
Gotcha.
But no, we never like just really went out and when I was younger, and my brother and them would go, I would tag along.
Right.
But no, me and Rob's never really investigated. Just when a friend or somebody would say, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" or whatever, we would, but not like this. No, we've never.
So what made you start searching for groups and things like that?
When the lady who helped me get rid of him told me since I didn't get rid of everything, that this was just going to be with me because it's part of me, and maybe to get a hold of it and to understand it and to help other people versus just sitting at home doing nothing with it.
Gotcha.
Now, was this the first team you found, or
Yeah.
we? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I looked around. I went on. I don't even remember. I Googled it and I just kind of looked around, and then I messaged y'all out of the blue one day.
Yeah. That's basically what I did. Like, this was the first team I found, but I like looked at 3 or 4 other ones, and there was certain things on like their website they'd say. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna be a good fit in this one.
Actually, I didn't even go on the websites. I had actually followed this team on Facebook, and then they posted that if you're inquiring about wanting to become an investigator, let us know. And, I actually messaged and they said, we got a team meeting come up if you'd like to come. And so me and a friend of mine, we went up there and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's kind of how it happened with me. I got a message that there's a team meeting. It was the last one. Not the
That was
last one.
the birthday party.
Yes. And so we went, and I was a little iffy about coming, depending on how many people were there.
Right.
But
We're glad you came.
Honestly, I don't know if you know the story, Carolyn, but when I first joined, you didn't have to go to a team meeting first. Now you do. But I was kind of iffy about joining. And so I got invited to a team meeting, and it was in my town. It was in Lexington. It was at that, we've had a meeting there, Carolyn, the Lexington Mill.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember.
Yep.
The brew pub.
Yep.
Over
It
there.
was so good. Oh, my God.
I came up, like at the last minute, I came up with the BS story and emailed Angie. I was like, I can't make it. I got to work overtime at work. Because I was the same way, because I was so iffy. Which now I wish I had gone to the meeting, because when I joined the team, neither one of you people have met these people, but I'm not going to name their names. But I didn't get along or didn't care for 2 people that were on the team, and I almost didn't stay. But then I always say, they moved out of the way, and the minute they moved out of the way, I became more involved, and they're no longer on the team. So I wish I had gone to that meeting, though, so I could have met the people like Angie and stuff like that I actually, get along really well. I actually get along with everyone really well on the team now that they're gone. But I wish I had gone to that meeting and met the people that earlier, because I almost didn't stay even after I went on a few cases. I almost didn't stay because I kept getting stuck on the same cases with those people. Like, I didn't meet Angie until like my 3rd or 4th case. Actually, it was my 4th or 5th case.
Gotcha. Now, Jenny, what made you buy your equipment? Because I know you have some personal equipment. Did you buy it, when you were dealing, or did you get it afterwards or right before?
we were already looking at some stuff, and then whenever I seen y'all's these little cameras, I was like, I want one of them IR cameras. And then of course Robert wanted the 360 camera.
Which is awesome. That thing is like so cool.
Yeah, and that is like his baby. I know when we're on a case, if I can't find Rob, I know that's where he's at.
He is like, something's
so
wrong with it. I
little.
I can't get it to do right. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
I
okay.
know when we first got it, they were like, are you going to do it in here? I'm like, no, I don't ever do my house.
No.
Well, I don't think anyone ever should do their own house, because then, and if I find out a client is investigating their home before we come to investigate a home, I say stop doing that, because it knows you're wanting to communicate all the time, so it's going to constantly be trying.
Yeah. And then you're just opening stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I say. All right. And especially after you leave, you're like, okay, this is it. And if it's quiet, leave it alone. Let it be quiet. That's like I had a client one time, like he was telling us he up in this attic area, which part of it had like a regular floor, but then you had like the beams you had to walk across.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like on that corner across the beams, I got a bunch of EVPs one day. And so I was like, well, immediately I was like, that is a safety hazard. I'm not sending anybody back there. And I was a big boy. I'm still a big boy, but I was a bigger boy back then. I was like, I'm not walking my big behind across those beams and then going through the floor if I misstep. So I was like, no one is going over there. That's no. And so like if someone cleansed the home, and then like 3 or 4 days later he messaged me and asked if anybody had went over there. I said no one's been over there to check that area out. And he was like, well, I might go up there and see if I get anything. I was like, well, has it been quiet since we left your house, since they cleansed the home? He said, yes. I said, then don't. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
If it's quiet, let it be quiet.
Right.
So, Carolyn, what's your best piece of equipment?
Oh, she's turning the tables on us. She said she's had enough of this.
I honestly like the spirit box. I really do. I like
You
the
and
spirit
I
box. I like the spirit box. Especially when you get that one piece that just comes through clear as day, and it's like you may not hear nothing for like ever, but that one thing that comes through just makes it all worthwhile. And I'd like to get a more upgraded one that they have out there. But yeah, that's mine.
The SBF 11 has the built-in speaker, and you don't need these little sport speakers we have now.
Right.
Maybe we should put that on the equipment list. The ever-growing, we need this piece of equipment list. But my favorite piece of equipment is the voice recorder. I love getting EVPs. I prefer EVPs over Spirit Box. No shade, Carolyn.
Hey, each has their own.
I like all the equipment.
Right?
Yeah. Just a simple EVP.
EVPs are always great when you get that one.
And it's
I'm
funny.
curious to see if it catches what I hear.
Right. Then it's just like, nailed it.
And it's like like watching the video, the DVR. I don't mind doing it on a case. I hate doing it when I'm reviewing. I hate it.
Well, now that I figured out how to jump them times, it was nice.
That's why we have someone watch it at that time and then write down the times, because I'd much rather go through and check and see what everybody else saw, and see if it looks good, or if I can debunk it or what. I can do that at home, but like sitting and watching the whole like 4 or 5 hours like the next week, it drives me nuts. I can't. I don't have the attention span for it. So that's like, I'd much rather watch it during the case. I'll put my recorder next to me and I'll watch it then. I don't know what it is. What's the difference?
It don't bother me, because I'm still intrigued. I'm still watching. It don't really bother me. It's just, if I knew somebody was watching it for 3 hours and didn't get anything and put down a time, I'd rather just go to that time.
Gotcha.
Well, Brandy, who went with us to the Charleston jail, she works with me now. And the other day, I was telling her, I was like, I don't like watching the voice, not the voice, but the DVR. And she was like, oh, I'll do it. I used to do security. I was like, well, I already know what your job is. If you're ever your job is to sit there, so I don't have to.
Okay, Jenny, I got a question for you.
Oh, wait.
What's your top 5 bucket list places to go to investigate?
Oh, Lord. I really ain't ever thought about it. Like, anywhere that I just like, oh, I want to go there. I would like to go to an old castle.
Okay. Dracula's castle.
Yeah, I would love to go to an old castle somewhere. But I hadn't really ever just really sit and thought, I'd like to go there. I would like to go to a castle. I'd like to go to Ireland one time.
My sister been to Scotland.
I know y'all can hear me typing. Everybody out there can hear me typing. But you said castle, and you said Irish castle, and I know that I saw something about it the other day. There's a famous haunted castle in Ireland, and I'm going to get the name right now. That's what's
weird, because Rob's ancestors are from Romania.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his grandfather actually came over from Romania. His first grandfather. So that's
Oh,
one reason why
wow.
you don't hear our last name very often, because they were the first ones that came over with it, which was his grandfather.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I pretty much have, anytime I want to make a screen name, nobody else has it.
Not used. Mine is like so
It's
much
called.
out there.
Here's the name of the most haunted castle in Ireland. It's called Leap Castle.
Leap?
L-E-E-A. Yep, like you leap over the edge.
Don't they pronounce it Lep?
Possibly. Hey, I don't
Lep
speak.
Castle?
I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch.
It's
Now, I
not
did
Dutch.
see
I
one of
know
the
it was a bad joke stolen from Austin Powers.
I did see on one of the
Yeah,
shows the other
baby.
day was at Bobby Mackey's. Have y'all seen that?
Yes.
The
That
what?
was interesting.
What is it?
Bobby Mackey's.
I don't know if I've heard of this.
That's because you don't watch Ghost Adventures.
Because they're terrible.
Y'all be hating on my Zacky Poo.
I'm sorry. I'm going to quote Joel, who's our podcast network on this one. But the only reason that half the people like Zach Baggins is because over half of them just want to get in his pants.
Really?
He said that's
Mine
the
was
only reason
Nick. I'm
Huh?
sorry. I like Nick.
why.
Oh, I like when Aaron hears.
Only one I know is Zach Baggins, and I call him a douche canoe. And that's the only one I know.
I like when Aaron hears something and his eyes get as big as 50-cent pieces.
Oh my God!
I have a theory about what
my
he's
God.
hearing. He's hearing the producer in his earpiece. That's what he's hearing.
Just can't even with you, Paul.
Huh?
We just can't even with you sometimes.
I'm sorry. I know a lot about reality TV shows, and I just don't find them worth a shit, I guess.
That's the only thing about once they get on TV. I feel like they lose that true investigation, and they're more about the viewers, how many viewers they have versus actually investigating.
Well, that's what it is now. When they first started, it was like completely different show. Completely
Yeah.
different show.
When you let a TV network take over, it's like you said, it's all going to be about the ratings and if we can sell ad space. So they have to keep it interesting. Like, I've already decided we're going to do a whole episode on this, but I'll kind of touch on this. But if they did actual paranormal investigating, it would be a boring ass show. It would be. Because half the time you end up sitting in the dark and not knowing if you've got any evidence or not.
Well, see, I wouldn't find that boring.
I know, but that we wouldn't, regular people, because we'd be like, oh, okay, this is some real shit. But, people who don't do paranormal investigating they would not watch that because they're like, well, there's nothing's going on. They're not going to find anything, so they're going to change the channel.
Ooh, I almost said it. Okay, good, I did.
What?
Say what you want to say.
I was gonna say fuck them. Let them change the channel.
But that's just all it is. Like, I don't want to get into it too much because I want to do another episode on TV, reality TV versus real shit and some kind of other bullshit I found today that makes Ghost Adventures, not today, but a few weeks ago, that makes Ghost Adventures look like Saints. Or any show in general, even because I've even dug up some stuff on the OG Ghost Hunters too that have made them not look so good. But we'll get into that in another episode because I could probably talk a whole hour about that.
And we don't watch.
Well, I watch like 5 television shows and I can get them all on an app, so I don't even have cable. So I don't know. The only thing that they might have interesting to me on those shows might be where they're going and what equipment they got that I don't have.
Yes, I do. I like seeing the new equipment that they bring out.
But I'm still very basic, so I would probably be the person who's like, I want that, and we would get it, and I'd probably use it 2 or 3 times, and I'd probably never use it again. I would like to I'd probably watch it, but just so I could see if it's bucket list material where I want to go. Like, I just want to see the location, see if the location looks cool. I don't really care to see what they caught because, once again, producers are behind the scenes, making it interesting. So I just want to see the location if it looks cool. If it looks cool, I'll go there.
Right, and that's a lot of times why we watch it because of their locations.
Yeah, and their equipment.
I know when we went to Old South Pittsburgh, I think for like 3 months before we went, all I did was watch YouTube videos of people at Old South Pittsburgh.
Especially that one that just like, oh, they left me.
Oh, that video was so funny. Jenny, I'll have to see if I can find it and send it to you. But apparently this girl, like, okay, there's an area where they kind of have like a break room. I think it used to be where they used to do, I forgot what they said that used to do, but they turned it into a break room. It used to be, I think, where they did the dialysis. That's what it was. They did dialysis in there. So they turned that into a break room for the investigators. So this woman was going down the hall, I guess, to her room, to the bathroom, and as she's walking down the hallway, her flashlight starts flickering and it turns off. She says she does have it. She like flips her crap.
Like
She's like,
flips it.
so they start recording her after she has run all the way back down the long dark hallway in the dark to the break room. So she's freaking out, hyperventilating, and it's just the funniest thing. And the K2's going off next to her, and then she's like, "Is that them? Is that them?" It was probably the cell phone they were using to record her making that go off, but I think they were messing with her and telling her yes. And it was so funny because I have to find it and send it to you. I'll find it and once we get done recording and send it to you.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm gonna throw some places at you, and you tell me yes, no, if you would like to go.
Okay.
Yes, no, would Jenny like to go? Yes, no, would Jenny like to go? Yes, no.
Let me find my pom-pom.
Is this a new game? We should come up with some kind of game to play with guests when we have guests, just to mess with them.
I know, we should. Okay. Waverly Hills.
What is that?
Oh my god, we're gonna have to delete her now.
Delete. It is a old tuberculosis hospital.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
That's in Kentucky.
Yes.
Kentucky. It's like everybody's been there. Okay, Alcatraz.
I think I've heard Angie say it before.
Yes.
This place has got like what, 6
on our
floors
list.
or something like that.
Okay.
Now, we did talk to somebody at Old South Pittsburgh because the old management, not the current management, the old management, she double booked us with somebody, and they were telling us that at Waverly, they think the shadow people that people see is just tree. They think it's haunted, but they think it's just shadows from the trees. So that's what they said.
Okay.
Next spot.
Alcatraz.
Yes.
Ohio State Reformatory.
That is another prison, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That means I've gone to jail 6 times
Penn
to go
State.
there.
We have Penn State.
Where's it at?
You mean Pennhurst?
No, there's 2 of them. There's Pennhurst plus there's Penn State.
Penn State's a college.
Penn State is not a freaking college. It's also a freaking jail.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
Penn State football? That's what I'm getting pulled up right now.
I'd like to do the White House.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
I did see something recently about presidents who said they saw stuff there. Let's see if I can pull up a list. Presidents who said white.
Hey y'all, what's the worst or what's the most question that y'all get, like from people who don't investigate, that gets on your nerves?
Oh,
Have you seen anything?
oh yeah, that's the first thing to see. Or
Yeah.
if they see the team shirt, they'd be like, "Are you really ghost hunters?"
Yeah, mine is like, well, why do they always have bad stuff? Well, usually nobody don't call if, they having good stuff happen.
Some people do call with ghost stuff. They just want to be verified.
Yeah. And a lot of it's like people aren't necessarily scared. Yes, you do have those people scared. They just want to know they're not crazy or not.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think another problem with TV is the TV that's ratings if it's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People want to watch the demons and stuff like that. And I think that is, at least in my experience doing this team, is a whole lot less common than what people think it is.
And that's why Ghost Adventures have lasted a lot longer than Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
That's because everything's a demon to Zach Bagans, and it's always the devil.
That's what I said.
Always the devil. But the devil gets around a lot. That's all I'm saying.
It's the devil. Hello.
Maybe
God's
it's
around
calling
everywhere.
Zach Bagans.
So.
Maybe
My
it's
mama
the devil
said
just
ghost
calling
hunting.
Zach Bagans to be like, stop being a douche canoe.
I'm ghost hunting the devil.
It's the devil.
The football from the devil. Okay, Jeannie.
I like what you're showing me there, Vicky Ballancourt. Whose balls the devil?
Do you ever want to go on a naval ship and investigate a naval ship?
Oh, yeah, I think that'd be interesting.
So apparently, I'm trying to look up people who said they've seen ghosts, but I don't actually see a list. They don't have an actual list. It'd be a whole lot easier as an article, but apparently people see the ghosts of Harry Truman, John Quincy Adams. So apparently the Franklin D. Roosevelt reportedly heard disembodied voice coming from a distance in the yellow oval room saying, "I'm Mr. Burns." So that's pretty interesting.
Who is Mr. Burns?
I don't know. Hold on. During Harry S. Truman's, a guard heard a similar voice thinking, I don't know. A lesser-known early White House personality who is said to haunt halls is David Burns, who sold the government most of the land of which the city of Washington, including the presidential residence, was built.
Oh.
So there's another history lesson for all you people.
Okay, it bothers me when people ask me a lot of times, well, if you see stuff all the time, why does it scare you? Well, I don't see stuff all the time. Sometimes you don't. But then if you see somebody coming at you that you kind of know now that really ain't fucking there, sometimes they don't have a good look. I don't care who you are. It's going to scare you.
Right.
And because like a lot of times Rob will be like, he'll ask me sometimes, why did that scare you? Well, let's see you deal with it a few times and see if it don't bother you.
When someone coming at you with a "I'm gonna kill you" kind of look, I don't care if you're alive or dead, you're gonna get scared.
Yeah, I mean, I'm human,
right?
But, and then like when people go investigate and they just start throwing out, who is this and what do you want? And I just want to slap them and go, look, they're people.
Mm-hmm.
They're still people. They're not going to come and talk to you. I mean, you're coming in here like a cop. I mean,
yeah, I was just going to say this. Like, don't interrogate it. Like, ask it a few questions, but then back off. Kind of like talks amongst yourselves is what I tell people. Because some of the best EVPs I ever have is like with me just talking to a fellow investigator and something else chiming in the conversation. Like, there's a third voice. Yeah. So,
Shut up.
Ask the questions, but I don't get a lot of responses that way. It's just the casual conversation where I get the most responses.
Yeah. Because I got to feel comfortable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I've started to do here lately is like try to ask what its interests were. Like, did it like football or what its favorite song was, stuff like that. That's what I've been trying to do here lately. So it's not like you're like, bombarding this person with personal questions, like who are you, how old are you, blah blah blah. Like make the
And they're
questions
not
interesting.
really going to answer them either.
Huh?
And they're not really going to answer them either.
Yeah, make the questions interesting for not just yourself, but for whatever entity could be around, if there is an entity around. Especially if you go to like a famous place that's constantly like investigated all the time. Find a new question for it. They'd probably be more willing to want to talk to you then.
Exactly. And sometimes it depends on who they like. I mean, just because, 5 people can go in the same room and all 5 of them be able to see and hear, and maybe only one sees and hears it because that's who they like.
Mm.
Yep.
Does that make sense? I mean, it don't always, it's got to be a two-way street.
That makes sense on a spiritual level, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? But you'd hope that you'd all get the evidence of that, you know what I mean?
Do
And I
what?
ain't talking to you. You're being a douche canoe.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to this one. They're just like, I'm going to jump in this conversation.
Well, that's like, I've had stuff in the past, like, where I've gotten the EVP and somebody else was in the same room and they didn't get it. So that's like, how does that work? You know what I mean? 'Cause, when we went to the Chester jail and I got that weird moan, whatever that was, and Angie's just right behind me on the steps and she didn't get it. Either that or was hungry. I don't know. But I can't. I don't know what it was. But she didn't. It picked up on what I still don't know what that was today because it kind of sounds like a moan, but then at the end, like someone's saying hello, so it was like hello, something like that. But so I'm just like, either I was hungry and I don't remember, or that's a weird EVP.
You guys got a lot of stuff in the beginning of that, and we didn't catch anything.
That was before your time, Jenny. That we went there, and there were so many people who wanted to go, so we split into 2 groups. So there was a 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. Group that went into the jail, and then there was a 12 to 3 p.m. 3 a.m. that went to the jail. So
Wow.
we were in there. We heard like a whole bunch of footsteps. We couldn't, and like some of them were like right in front of it. There was like a stair, and it sounded like someone was going up the steps in front of us. And Angie was like, "What is that?" And she got behind me, and back then I was a whole lot bigger than I am now, and I was like, "Sure, hide behind the fat guy." So, and then she's like, I had turned around to do something, I can't remember. She's like, "I'm out of here." And I turned back around, and she's halfway up the hallway. I'm like, "Angie, you're not supposed to leave. It's against the rules. You're not supposed to leave people." She's like, "Well, you better come on." That was pretty funny.
That was a place where the spirit box was not working whatsoever.
I don't even know if I tried to use the spirit. I think I did try to use the spirit box.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for you guys, and it didn't work for us either.
I also we heard footsteps downstairs too in the basement that one time. But what really killed it was I dropped my recorder about halfway through our investigation, and the battery popped out, and I lost like 2 hours worth of recording.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was mad. I was, but at that 1 hour, I got that one weird, whatever that was. Still to this day, I don't know what it was saying, or if it was my stomach. So.
Oh. I love to go to Rolling Hills, which is in New York. And New York also has the Hinsdale House, which I'm not sure if I want to go to that. The Hinsdale House just seems, I don't know, crazy.
I still want to go to Bull Street, so if anybody out there wants to hit me up, you can email me at SCPRAI Podcast at gmail.com.
We're going to plug that.
I'm going to plug that until someone emails me and says, "Fine, I'll get you in."
Yeah, no doubt.
Investigate it. Just give me an hour to look around. That's all I want. I just want an hour to look around because that building looks really cool. That's all I want. I'll sign any waiver. I will also donate a kidney and a liver.
Jeez. Body parts.
Now, Jenny, the place
Yeah.
where you went with the Tennessee Race Chasers, is that a place you would like to go without them and just investigate yourself?
Yes, definitely. I know there was something in the basement. I couldn't stay down there long though. I just stayed down there for a few minutes and then I had to come out. It was almost like I couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came out, the lady who owns it, that's when she told me that's what she gets every time she goes down there. And so we've kind of been chit chatting since then. And but yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to go to just small people, small group. See what we get.
Okay.
Oh, but they got a picture of the nun, the evil nun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I did definitely feel something in the basement.
Now, would you
But
like to go back to Chester or Charleston jail with us?
Yeah, I haven't been to Charleston jail yet. That'd be fun.
We love
Interesting.
jails. I do want to go back. We have to go back because I want to get an EVP this time. I didn't get any EVPs.
We'll have to do another impromptu, to go.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a good thing about the size of this team, and there's a bad thing about the size of the team. The good thing about the size of the team right now is if there's a case, there's people that can do it. Like if I can't go, there's somebody else who can go in my place. You know what I mean? The bad thing is sometimes is some of these team trips where they only allow so many people, or if you have too many people, it's just contamination. So that's the bad thing is when you start getting up to. So that's what I was telling Carolyn. I said maybe some of these team trips to some of these small places, we're gonna have to split the team in two and say, hey, this half goes this weekend and this other half goes the next weekend.
Yeah.
But the St. Albans sanatorium, that'll probably be big enough. That place looks pretty big from what I saw. For everybody.
Yeah, but I think right now we only got
Don't-
like 10 or 11 people going.
Yeah, I even think if we filled it up, it still would be enough room.
Yeah, like Old South Pittsburgh was probably the biggest place I've ever investigated, and we took 6 people. We probably could have taken 20 head of people, and then everybody had a walkie-talkie, and you go this hallway upstairs, you can go in the front downstairs over here, and then on the second floor you can have a group on one end because the second floor is actually the biggest floor in that building because it's built into a hill. So on the second floor you could probably have someone on one end. You could probably almost have 3 groups up there as long as they're not yelling and screaming.
Hey, I'll bring my predator mask. How about that?
Oh god. The interview where we were interviewed on Joel and Michael's podcast comes out tomorrow, and I tell a story about a mask. We tell the story about a mask at Old South Pittsburgh that made me say every curse word to all the way up to the ceiling and all the way back down.
I got a predator mask at Comic-Con last year, and the shield actually comes up so you actually can see what its face looks like and you wear it.
That is so cool.
I'll bring it when Paul wakes up, just be sitting there looking at him.
Why does it always me? Why does everybody want to mess with me? We got to get somebody else on the team to be the team punching bag, okay? Because I'm resigning from that position.
You will never resign. We will never let you resign.
Yes, because like I said in the last interview, I'm in a team full of bitches.
Yeah, he says that like it's a bad thing.
I know, right? Hello.
I will say y'all keep life interesting, but that's about it.
We keep it awesome.
The estrogen flood.
No. Well, at one time it was just me and like one other dude on this team, and it was all chicks.
Oh,
And
Lord.
now it's still predominantly female, but now it's like 7 guys. Something I think I counted the other day. So
No, there can't be that much.
it's me, it's Bill, it's Brandon, Rob. If I mean, I guess he's a man unless Jenny's taking his manhood. I'm not sure. Ooh. But let's see. Me, hold on. Brand, Justin, Sean.
Hank.
Okay, so there's 6 official and 1 in training. Does that sound
Yep.
right? Okay.
I got Bill, Brandon, Hank, Rob, Paul, and Sean.
Yeah. So yeah, at one time it was just me and Bill for a little while. That was it.
I tell Rob all the time he's a nice asshole. Because he can just be so brutal, but be so nice about it. You know, just.
Oh, y'all are in the perfect relationship.
Oh, and then there's
That's my Yankee.
Hey, we are who we are.
That's right.
Hey,
I
I'm
love
half
my
Yankee.
Yankee.
As I say, I'm the nicest bitch you'll ever meet.
But I tell Rob all the time he's a nice asshole. Now, y'all want to talk about some communication problems. Ooh, when we first got together, it was just terrible. It's a good thing that we had great sex because there wasn't a lot of talking. Because I remember one time I told him to go get me the hose pipe.
You know, I was trying to keep
What?
this podcast somewhat family friendly, but I think we're just going to throw that out the window.
But I
No,
told him
what?
to get me the hose pipe. And he looked at me. But he looked at me. I mean, he just had this, I don't know, this dumbfounded look on his face. And I'm like, can you grab me the hose pipe? And he said, baby, I'll get you anything you want, but I don't have a damn clue what you're talking about. I said, the hose pipe. His accents calmed down a lot, but he said, oh, you want the garden hose? I said, do I look like I got a damn garden? I want.
Oh, Lord.
But we used to get into so many fights because he couldn't understand me and I couldn't understand him a lot of times.
I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
Totally understand that.
We would get into like just arguments because we just didn't understand each other. And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's
I
funny.
think
His
that's
mama's word.
half the problem with most relationships is we don't understand what the hell the other one wants.
When I first came down here, everybody would talk. I'd be like, what? What?
Oh, yeah.
And then they would get mad at me when they call me, and I'm like, what? And they'd be like, don't you be talking to us that way. What is wrong with you? What's your attitude? I said, I don't have an attitude. What do you want? That's how I talk. It ain't no, yes, ma'am, how can I help you kind of crap. It's what? What do you want? I don't have time for niceties. What do you want?
Yeah, down here it's definitely like manners. I still say yes, ma'am to people like that are my age or older, and they'll be like, "Please don't call me ma'am."
Well, manners are one thing, but when
It's
people are just doing it, you know what I'm saying? If your character's not like that and you're doing it, you're just being a jerk. I mean, that's one thing I've never really got along with a lot of people because Rob always told me, he said, you should have been a Yankee because you just say stuff and, you know, but it's not on me how they took it.
Exactly. Hello.
So, does anybody have anything else they would like to say or talk about, announce?
I don't have anything.
What are you eating?
She just called you out. I'm keeping that in there.
Well, I just got through eating one of them raspberry shortcake cookies from Subway. So, and then I had to get a drink and I had a little bit of ice. I had to wash it down.
I need to start having snack time during podcasts.
Snack time.
Well, I had to eat because when I come home, when I told you guys you have to give me a few, I just went and got something to eat. So I was kind of eating while we were podcasting.
I was like,
my
my lunch wore off at about 4:40 this afternoon, so I was like, I'm definitely gonna have to eat something before I get home and call. Nice. So.
I know we probably had a lot of stuff going on. So now, Jenny, what is your overall think about our group and what we do, and what's your opinion?
I like what we do. I do. I really, really like it. I'm just learning as much as I can with the equipment, because a lot of the equipment I don't know. Because when I would go, damn, whoo, I touched a stink bug. I got, woo.
That is there too.
But I'm trying to learn all the equipment, because most times when we would, even go somewhere to a friend's house, I mean, we didn't have all that. I just went in and there it was. If I got it, I did it. If I didn't, I didn't.
Right,
But
right.
I really like learning about it. Good Lord, that thing stinks. Sweet baby, Jesus.
Why?
And
Y'all there?
I'm here.
I do like that it's one religion. You know what I'm saying?
Jenny was
So,
breaking up, so I didn't hear any of that just a second ago.
oh, I was talking about the stink bug at first, and then I went back and said I like that we're inclusive of all religions. That just because we can all still be fine with each other. We don't have to all have the same religion.
Right.
Well, that's what I think a good group is you have different opinions of different things, so you're getting the different, you're seeing it through someone else's eyes. You know what I mean?
You have a lot of that diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some religions aren't tolerant of other people, and that's what I don't like. Just because, I may feel one way, or I believe one way, somebody else believes another way. It's not for me to jump in and say, no, you're wrong, or try to correct somebody else's religion. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we do.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's one of the things when I was looking for teams that I was looking at some of the keywords that they like to put in, and then I was like, nope, that's not for me.
Right.
Because
it's like, I don't look at a person, what their beliefs are, who they are. I look at the person, who they are themselves, and how they carry themselves.
Exactly.
I remember when Paul was here, when we went to a flea market, and this man come up to me, and he wasn't even looking at our stuff. He's just like, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, about what? And he says, about Jesus and all that. I said, stop right there. I said, stop right there. I said, I am here for this. And he goes, do you care where you're going? I said, I know where I'm going. I know what I believe in. I'm not having this conversation with you.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When people try to just shove any other religion down your throat, or to correct you, like, I remember when we had that team meeting, and that lady, I mean, I just really thought y'all knew that lady. And
Oh God.
She was just
again. You missed it, because after you left that party, I had a few drinks, and then Hank started like egging me on about her, and I said something that I'm not going to repeat.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no sense in trying to do that, for anybody. I mean, that's why a lot of times I keep quiet about the things that I deal with, because it's personal. And if it helps, that's fine. But to try to go and correct somebody else, that's not my place.
Right. If you ask for my opinion, I'll give you my opinion, but it's just my opinion. It's not me saying, you're wrong or right. It's my opinion. It's how I feel.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I usually just tell people, like, here's an example of something I didn't understand here recently. And Carolyn, you were with me, but remember we did the Krampus Festival in Camden?
Yes.
And the preachers apparently had ran a lot of people off from coming there. And I'm like, why did you waste all your energy doing that? Just because you didn't agree with that. that's on you. You don't like something, you stay at home, but don't try to force other people not to do something because you don't like it. That's none of your business.
Exactly.
And Krampus is a folklore taken back, way back when, and it doesn't even derive from here. It derives from
German.
Germany. I don't think it's Germany. Is it Germany?
I'm pretty sure it's German. Hold on, or one of those.
I don't think it's Germany, but it's just their kind of boogeyman is pretty much what it is. Is their version of boogeyman,
Like the anti-Santa, but in the same way he kind of worked with Santa.
Right.
I think he's from Germany. I'm looking. He's from Austria. So right in that kind of area, but not. Oh, no. A more modern take. He is celebrated in Germany, but it's Austria, Germany, Hungary, Slovenia, and the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Stuff for Krampus.
And they hold a big old Krampus festival there. And it's just like, just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean other people believe.
We were all going and worshiping the Krampus anyway. That's not what it was. It was just a fun time. No one was chanting to Krampus or anything like that. But at the same time, even if we were, whose business is that?
Right.
Take that somewhere else. If you don't like it, you stay home. I've never understood why people go and make asses of themselves about stuff. And none of them showed up, even though there was talk that maybe they would show up while we were there. But it's still, at the same time, you ruined something or tried to ruin something that someone has spent time organizing because of your bias.
Right. But you're never going to let it go. It's always going to be there.
Some people have too much free time.
Exactly.
Is there anything you want to add, Jenny?
Not right now, I don't think. I think we pretty much hit on a good bit of it. Maybe next time we do one, we get some other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good. That will be next time.
I kind of figured.
They'll definitely be
hey, we should do one when we go to Will and Jeffro's.
Oh.
I was actually thinking about that when we go to Will and Jeffro's. Bring your computer. But yeah, I was already thinking we could do one at Will and Jeffro's. For people who are listening who don't know who Will and Jeffro, I think we've mentioned them once or twice, but they're former clients of ours who are really close with us. We don't typically give out our clients' names, but they don't care. So.
Yes.
But yeah, I was thinking about doing one while we were there. Out of here, if you want to request a investigation, please go to our website at www.scprai.org and fill out the form, and someone will call you in a day or two. If you have any questions or for the team, you can email those to us at scpraipodcast@gmail.com. And either we're going to plan and do a listener's questions episode, or I could just email them back to you. It doesn't. I haven't decided if we'll do it. It just depends on how many questions we get. Carolyn, anything else?
Nope, I'm good. Just glad to have you on here, Jenny. Yay! Glad that you like our team and you joined our team. Because you are a hoot, Jenny.
I like the way Carolyn says my name.
Jenny.
We like you on here, Jenny. But we do enjoy having you, and I have investigated with you a few times, and you're a trip. You're awesome.
I know. I was telling Michael and Joel when they got done interviewing us the other day, I said, well, if one of them messaged me and said, you run with a wild bunch. I said, oh, the fifth one's not here. You should have met her, and you should really see our parties.
We party like rock stars.
All right. And we're signing off. See y'all. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Disclaimer. Any names and locations have been changed to protect our client's identity unless it's a public place that allows public investigations. Any evidence we talk about on our podcast, website, or presentation, SCPRAI has been given written permission to do so by the client. Thanks for listening.